I love the heavy class. That is no secret. Most of my playtime with the game at this point used to be medium because of the heal beam. The heal beam is awesome, godly. It's god tier. It's amazing. But the heavy class is my favorite because, well, it's the heavy class. Any heavy player can say, hey, we like the support, we like the destruction, we like the anchor of the team that we can do for our team. And that's why they like the heavy class. And I like it because I like to kill people efficiently. I find this way to kill people efficiently with the Deagles, with the BFR, with some automatic weapons like the M60. It's a fun weapon. It's not nearly as much fun as the Eagles because the Eagles have a banana skin and you can't say no to a banana skin. But a little bit of a distant cousin, twice removed, maybe third or fourth inbred cousin, whatever. The minigun is basically the M60, but with a lot of spread, a lot of rounds per minute, and a lot of potential, but a lot of RNG. I'm not the biggest fan of this weapon, not because it isn't unique, it isn't fun to use. It's fun to use against bad players, against players that aren't using the meta and don't know how to counter the minigun. That's when it's fun. But especially with the meta these days, with it's just poke and range, peek, shoot, return to cover, peek, shoot, return to cover, over and over again. The minigun, all it can do is just spam like 60 rounds into the wall. It breaks the wall, and then they just run away into new cover, and you do probably like 50 damage from like 30 meters away. And that sucks. I don't really like the poke meta, honestly, not just because it's the meta specifically. I think sustain, that's what most of the weapons in the game do, and not counting outliers like melee, because melee is its own beast, right? I love sustain weapons. I prefer poke weapons a lot more, but the people who like sustain weapons more aren't really enjoying a competitive play this season because of all the poke meta, and that's why I don't really like it too much. It literally has nothing to do with the meta itself, just because it, I don't know, I just don't like metas. Just play what you want. That's my opinion. Yeah, I'm not going to play with the minigun because I don't want to anymore. And not because it's just a sustained weapon and I like poke weapons. Not because of that, but because of a lot of the cons it has that are sometimes completely out of your control. The minigun is one of the best weapons for sustained damage, and the only other weapon that I can think that's relatively close is like weapons like the AKM for medium, the XP40 or whatever, the MP5 for light, and the M60 that's also on the heavy class. Extremely well sustained damage weapons, a lot of fun to use. All of them are a lot of fun to use. If you haven't tried them, I'm pretty sure every single one of you has tried all those weapons. Actually, they're a lot of fun to use, and the minigun is basically, like I said, the inbred half cousin of the M60. This thing is extremely well at close range. I know that sounds like a heresy. It was mounted on, actually I think it still might be on the A10 Warthog. Does it perform like the A10 Warthog rotary cannon? No, it does not, and I wish it did because it'd be a lot of fun. The only thing it has in common with the rotary cannon off of that behemoth of a plane is the destruction capabilities that it has with the structures that it comes in contact with. So the most noteworthy buff, we're not going to count like the 7.3 buff for it. You pull out the weapon faster. That's, yay, that's cool, I guess, whatever. The release of Season 7 added in a little bit extra environmental damage for the minigun to where you can destroy 3 structures instead of just 2. It's like walls, pillars, ceilings, floors, whatever. And that's a lot of fun. That's what I really like about this weapon. It reminds me of the KS, but the KS is better. For me, that's a hot take, I know, but it's better for me because I like the KS's destructive capabilities and I like the poke damage. That's why I like it better. But I made a KS video already. This is a minigun video. This thing has really good environmental damage. It's really good for stalls, but it takes a while for it to actually destroy the wall. It takes, I'm going to say 70 rounds to destroy a ceiling or wall, right? Add in the charge up time for it, all the bullets it takes, all the sound that you're dispersing to where enemies can easily pinpoint you. It's not the best destructive weapon for heavy, nearly. It's, if anything, it's the worst one that has destructive capabilities. The sledgehammer is instantaneous with a right click. Well, there's that charge up swing, but whatever. It's instantaneous. It takes 1 hit. The KS takes 2 shots, and it's just not meant for destruction, even though it has the capabilities for destruction. It's like having a fountain pen be a nail. It has the means to be a nail from the sharp tip of the pen, but no one's going to use it as a nail, right? So why would you use a minigun solely for destructive purposes, right? I've been using it and having a lot of success in 5 to 10 and sometimes a little over 10 meters, like 15 meters. That is where you're going to get a lot of DPS, not just because it's easier to aim. This thing isn't hard to aim at all, but it's the spread of the bullets that absolutely destroy this weapon when it comes to any amount of range. It does. Don't even look at the damage drop off. 30 to 50 meters and like a 0.4 damage drop off literally none of that matters because you're not going to be hitting nearly enough bullets to even make it matter to where you're worrying about any damage drop-off values. And that sucks with the meta. I said the meta already, but longer range weapons like the Deagles, BFR, Sniper, LH1, FAMAS, all those burst damage, high value weapons at range are going to absolutely pulverize every single minigun player if they don't play cover, and well, in that case, they just don't even have to push you, especially if they're defending. If you're playing against competent players, especially this season, the minigun is basically useless, right? Especially if there's a winch player with a BFR, easy headshot, basically. Just look at Combo's video. Thank you, Combo, by the way. That's awesome. You're making all of our lives miserable. But this meta isn't very good for minigun. I could see how it can be good. You had players like Busy at the beginning of Season 6 destroying players with a minigun, and I still feel like there is some value. A little bit of value, not a lot because of the longer range meta, but there is value to this weapon. And I feel like that is in the shorter range. As long as you're not getting absolutely pulverized by suicidal lights with the DB, you're going to do good against lights. The spread isn't going to absolutely save your life. Here's the thing with the spread, this is one of the few weapons where you can blame RNG. Granted, like 80% of the time you're missing your shots, it's you. And well, that's just a skill issue. I'm going to put it simply there. But there are some cases where your crosshair is on the player and you're not hitting shots. And that's literally just RNG. That's one of the reasons why I don't really like this gun. I like to know where my bullets are going to go. And that's why I like the BFR, because I point at the player I'm trying to kill, I shoot the player goes, you know, they die. And I like that. I like death. Pause. The minigun has that potential to kill, just not as effectively as some of these burst weapons. But when it kills, it kills. This thing is a shredder, dude. It takes half a second for if every bullet hits, all 11 hit points from each bullet, 14 for a headshot. If all of those hit a light, it takes half a second. That's a little bit above the reaction time of a light. And if they're playing light, they have no reaction time, right? They literally just play Covaxitive and Aim Labs all day. They don't really try to play the game at all, right? Right, guys? We're still on the boat with the light hate train, right? I hope so. It takes a little under a second, about 0.88 seconds, actually, to be precise. Let me go ahead and lower my glasses real quick to look smart in a bedroom where I'm the only one in it. And then it takes about a second and a quarter of a second add on to that second to kill heavies. And my thinking is you're going to hit a lot more shots with mediums and lights with the minigun than you are against lights because they're dashing around, they're grappling around, they have a smaller hitbox. Thank God they have a smaller health pool as well because you're not going to need as many bullets to kill them. And that's probably why they have only 150 health compared to mediums and lights. Heavies are really easy to hit because they're slow. And, well, guess what? You're also slow with the minigun. That's another reason why I don't like this weapon. Don't get this twisted. I don't want a movement buff for the minigun. If you're running around at the speed of light with a minigun that does a crap ton of damage very quickly, I'm going to quit the finals. I'm going to, no. Even walking speed is way too much for the minigun. All you have to do is just go in and out of cover, spray, because you have 250 rounds of pure democracy, right? You're going to go ham with this thing, dude. Even though it's necessary, it is a massive drawback. A massive drawback. You are super, super, super slow. And if it's against a light that's trying to attack you with the double barrel, you can just spray him down, easy kill, no problem. No questions asked, easy kill. And depending on the weapon that mediums and heavies have, especially heavies, all they have to do is just play distance, stand still, and focus on headshots to kill you. I have encountered so many miniguns with the Deagles as a heavy player to where all I have to do is just stand still and just headshot them over and over again. Because if I'm playing distance, it's not a matter of aim for the minigun, it's a matter of RNG for those bullets to actually hit me. And I know that. So all I have to do is stand still and shoot their faces. That's all I gotta do. And I don't really like that. I don't like RNG. I hate RNG. That's why I really don't like Battle Royales. Oh shoot, look, he just got a purple armor out of that random loot box and an R301 with a crap ton of flight ammo. Uh-oh, I'm stuck with my gray armor with a Mozambique. I might as well shoot myself instead of shooting him. I don't like RNG. I'm not a very good... No. RNG sucks. And the minigun is... Well, it's the minigun. I've already explained why it's RNG based. Not based, just impactful. And it is very impactful for this weapon. But even though I've been smacking around the minigun like crazy this video, I am going to give it some credit here. When you hit those shots, you feel invincible, dude. And I'm not saying that because I've been binge watching Invincible or anything. You feel like a god, bro. Especially against those heavies. Anti-gravity cube, thank you for the support on the last video, by the way. I never really expected to get 3,000 views. But with a gravity cube, it does massive work against heavies especially. Like, heavies have, like, no movement, by the way. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. They're very slow. throw a gravity cube on top of them, they're floating around, not moving. You turn the minigun into a paper shredder against like a notebook against those heavies, dude. Like, dude, you do damage. You do damage, and we like damage. Get that dopamine rush. Come on, guys. And I'm going to be straight with you. If you're having sustained weapons like the M60, like the minigun, the anti-gravity cube is going to be your best friend. Throw it down. They can't move. Dash players are going to be a little bit of an issue. They could just dash right out, I believe. I don't know if they need momentum to dash out. I don't know. But if they don't have movement, they're pretty much sitting ducks, and it's awesome. I love it when that happens. I love just shredding them down, dude. It's awesome. But the anti-gravity cube is a perfect match for the minigun. All you have to do is play a tiny bit of distance, like 10 meters, and then you shred them. You shred them. They're paper mache. They're brittle. They're brittle, tiny people, especially those stupid lights. You're going to have a lot of fun with the anti-gravity cube with the minigun. I also wanted to do charge and slam as well. One, to close the distance a bit, and also just for that little bit of damage you might need. Let's say you somehow run out of 250 rounds. Charge and slam is an easy 100. And if you want to close the distance, there you go. If you want to jump on people, there you go. Classic charge and slam stuff. I also just played around with like Pyro, RPG Dome. Dome can be pretty handy because you're going to be stationary. You can just make your cover just like that. I also think Barricade and Healing Emitter also have a really good place with minigun. Barricade especially because you can just literally make a very sturdy piece of cover there to where not a lot of things can get through unless they have RPGs. Yeah, RPGs are fun and people are going to be using them. So barricades are just getting less and less relevant, honestly, I feel like, because all you have to do is just shoot them and then there you go. Easy, no cover. Healing Emitter, I mean, you're heavy and you can't really move around a lot, so you're going to be soaking up a lot of damage. Replenishing that health is going to help you out a lot. And the only thing you can really do to negate the movement is bunny hopping. All bunny hopping it really is trying to sustain the momentum that you've gained from a jump pad, from running, from pretty much any momentum you get a little bit of speed that's beyond the running base speed, right? You jump right when you hit the floor. I've actually binded my scroll down as a jump function, just so it makes it easier to bunny hop, and I use it a crap ton, dude. And it's super nice with the minigun because you do actually move a little bit. It's easier to not get hit, and if you have okay aim, it's still easy to beam people because you don't have to have that pinpoint accuracy. You just pray the bullets actually hit. That's pretty much all I had for you guys. Go ahead and let me know what you guys thought about the video, the weapon, the gadget suggestions, all those goodies that I put in this video here. Let me know what I could do to be better because I like being better. I want to be better than everyone else. I want to outclass combo one day. Don't tell them I said that though. But yeah, you guys have a good one, all right?